morning, everyone. I know a lot of you here, but I'm Greg Hoffman, a longtime friend of Tom's, and I am the last person he would want standing here today. But here I am. So I've known him 27 years. When I met him, I didn't need these. I need these today. I mean, honestly, I'd better nail this thing because this man gave me 27 years of fantastic material you just can't imagine. I mean, can you hear him now? Hoffman, it's just going to be a long story. It's going to be, buddy. Put in your hearing aids. I'm going to say some nice things about you today. And I'm going to go down a rabbit hole here, but I was just sitting there listening to Jennifer's beautiful talk, and I'm thinking of Tom Zogger's first sit down with God in heaven. And I see Tom getting halfway to his chair and say, "Hey, another thing." He was stubborn one day. All right, let's get down to the real problem. And the real problem here is the most vibrant, youngest 81-year-old man I've ever met is no longer with us. And Jennifer, Jamie, Lauren, Nick, Nate. I can't tell you how sorry Darla and I are that he's not here with us anymore. But in addition to that, I want to thank you for letting us borrow him for the past 27 years. Because he's more than a friend. He was Hoffman family. To my brother Larry, my other brother Bob, their wives Jan and Pat, my nieces and nephew, one of whom is here today. Thanks for being here, Steph. And to my in-laws, Sam and Jackie Salem, he was family. We were inseparable together. And it means the world to me that you trusted us with him. We were not worthy storage, really. But I mean, as you look around today, you're gathered, or you're surrounded here by people gathered to honor this man, and they thought of him much the same way that we do. And he was just the kind of guy he was. He just wasn't a friend. He was everyone's family. He was such a part of our family that whenever we booked a trip, Darla wouldn't look at a one-bedroom, one-bathroom accommodation. She'd look for a separate suite for Tommy so that he could have his own quarters. And, you know, if you're a dog owner, you know this. When you're getting ready to walk your dog, you say, "Hey, you want to go for a walk?" And all you have to say is, "Do you want it?" And the dog's ready to go, right? And with Darla or Tom, Darla would just have to say, "Tom, you want it?" And Tom, "Yep, let's go." And we're off on the next journey. She'd book a reservation. She said, "I think Tommy's really going to like this." It's like I wasn't even going. So a couple of weeks ago, we spent some time in Greer, just chasing memories, and we sat down on the patio front porch of the cabin, opened up our wine, and it became so very real that Tommy wasn't here anymore. It was just palpable, and I don't have enough words to describe how much we missed him. And the ironic thing is, I have no idea how this relationship got this way. When Tom and I were first meeting some 27 years ago, it was at a time in my life when it wasn't so good. I was just divorced, very depressed, not a lot of friends, drinking too much. I can't imagine why my wife left me. And I was still on good terms with God, speaking to him, and so I said a prayer. I did what a lot of people do. I asked God to give me something to help change my life. And they say, God works in mysterious ways. So one night I'm in Keegan's, drinking, thank you, Kirk. And into a bar walks Tom and Jennifer. And Louis Canada, who's here today, had suggested that Tom come meet me because at the time we were both in pharma sales. And if you don't know Louis' story, when he grew up in Hibbing, Minnesota, and he walked a young man named Bobby Zimmerman to school because all the tough kids in Hibbing were picking on little Bobby Zimmerman. And Louis, being a nice guy, protected Bob Zimmerman. Bob Zimmerman turned into be Bob Dylan. And Louis protected Bob Dylan for the world, but he couldn't save me from Tom Zogger. But Louis, I am forever grateful. Thank you. But anyway, when I first saw Tom that night, if you've seen A Wonderful Life, it's a wonderful life. And you know how Jimmy Stewart's in there, and he realizes that Clarence is his guardian angel, and George Bailey says to Clarence, well, you look like the kind of angel I get. And that's exactly how I thought. You look like the kind of friend I get, and there he was. And I know that story has been rehashed multiple times. You've heard it millions of times, and not one of them were identical. And Pastor, in the interest of not lying in church today, I'm not going to tell my version. But suffice it to say, it didn't end particularly well. But on the way home, Tommy's talking to Jennifer, and he's recounting the night. He said, I really didn't like him. I think he called me cocky. But Jennifer, bless her heart, said, I think he's kind of cute. Jamie, even then, she had fantastic taste in men. So I guess it was due to that endorsement, Jennifer, I don't know, but he called me later, a couple of weeks later, and we started hiking together. And the shorter hikes became longer hikes, and they were always followed by breakfast burritos, lots of coffee, lots of laughs. And then the hikes that took us into the afternoon were filled with cold beer and Pringles. And he taught me early on that a very comfortable chair and a full cooler were essential to hiking, as good shoes and trekking poles. And it's a lesson I never forgot. He also taught me to capture our days when we're on the trails on film. I always brought a camera, but I rarely used it. And then with the advent of cell phones and the cameras, I started taking more and more pictures. I have hundreds of pictures of he and I on trails throughout Arizona in particular. And one in particular stands out. Darla, my brother, and his wife, and I, and Tom were on the north rim of the Grand Canyon, one of my favorite places to be, and Tom's too. Beautiful trail called the Woodford Trail. And this is one of Darla's first trips with us. And it was a beautiful backdrop. And I thought, okay, let's get a picture of me, Larry, Janet, and Darla together. We'll hang this on the wall. We'll be so proud to have this. So we hand the picture to the camera to Tommy, and Tommy's fussing and farting and, can't decide, do I do a picture, or portrait, or landscape, or somewhere between is most likely what he's gonna do. And he takes so long to do this, and of course the phone goes off, so we have to go up and reset it, and he does it all over again. But finally, he's got it. He says, yeah, I think I see you. And he takes a picture, great. So can't wait to see it, can't wait to look at the picture, and here, friends, is the result. Tom Zager, grandfather of the selfie. It's unbelievable. It had never been done before then. So over the past 27 years, we've seriously hiked thousands of miles together. We've climbed Mount Whitney together. We've had the most incredible evening one night in Patagonia, Arizona, watching the stars until the sunrise chased them away. It was a spectacular night. And those hikes turned into destination vacations. And Jerry and Barbie, your appearance in Bordeaux when you surprised us was one of the biggest moments of his life, I think, and he never stopped talking about it. Our nightly meetings were legendary, and it's probably appropriate that we have a little sambuca to honor our friend today. And what would be our final trip together, that was Spain and Portugal last October. He swore we tried to kill him. We walked 10 plus miles daily. And in Tom's words, it was uphills both ways. Okay, great. He'd get cranky about halfway through the day. And we learned really quickly, give him a bowl of paella, he shuts right up. It was awesome. And he'd be good for the rest of the day. And then at night we'd shower, we'd sit on the patio, rehash the day over wine and laughs. It was heaven. It was just an incredible experience for all of us. I loved everything about Tom Zager. I loved his fantastic sense of humor, his passion for the outdoors, and his commitment for doing the right thing. He didn't always do it, but doggone it, he tried. I loved the biblical irony that his parents were Joseph and Mary, but he was forever doubting Thomas. I loved that he consistently claimed that his sister's potato salad was better than mine. It wasn't. I loved his love of classic country music and the fact that when he tried to sing it, he didn't hit one note ever. I loved his love of a Pittsburgh fish sandwich and indeed everything Pittsburgh. And I hate the Steelers, but I loved his passion for the black and gold. If Charlie Bell's here, I don't know if you're here or not, Charlie, there you are, buddy. You are proof, you and Tom are proof that good things do come out of the Steel City. And you're a good friend, buddy, because you were always with him on the divisional rival games. When you were surrounded by Bengal and Browns fans, it was you and Tommy. You're a good friend, Charlie. I love that the best day of my life watching baseball was overlooking Wrigley Field on an apartment in Sheffield Avenue. And that we followed that 2 days later by the best time we ever had watching college football at Notre Dame. Jim and Amy Kelly, thank you for making that happen. You were fabulous hosts. I love that his hometown friends became mine. My hometown friends became his. I love watching him do a Wordle. It's indescribable. You just can't imagine how he did this. It made no sense. It was a combination of Sudoku and Wordle all at once. I don't know how he did it. Regardless, I'm very thankful he never got it in one. I loved that he would tell anybody and everybody that he was a listener, not a talker, and follow that up with a long conversation about why he was such a good listener. I love that he wanted his grandkids to someday read every book that he had read so that they could feel close to him when he was long gone. And I loved that when my Jen died and I needed him the most, he was there. And I loved that when I introduced Darla to him and brought her into my life, he loved her the minute he met her, just as I do. And oh, how he loved you, Darla. He loved having his own in-house certified sommelier. And Dan Lewis, if you're here, he loved you too. He loved all your wine selections too. Dan, nice to see you. He just thought Darla was cuter. So do I. And most of all, I love that whenever we parted, he always hugged me and said, "I love you, buddy." He wasn't, or never claimed to be perfect, but he was the perfect friend. So look, there are very few things in life that I know are certain, but there is something I can tell you with great certainty today. And that today is dark, the grass isn't as green, the sky isn't as blue. But tomorrow's gonna be better. And the day after that will get even better then. And that's because we're gonna look with great joy and great love at the man who gave us such great joy and great love. And we're gonna thank God that we walked the earth the same time that he did. And I'll close with this. A few years ago, I was driving through Taos, New Mexico, a state that Tommy and I both love. And I'm listening to Sirius XM Willie's Roadhouse, and on comes a new song by Willie Nelson and Merle Haggard. It's called My Come Whatever Unfair Weather Friend. And the minute I heard it, I thought of him and me, and I just, every time I heard it since, I cried. And it became our anthem of sorts. And the great thing about the song is if you listen to it today, you'll think it's about you and Tom as well, because that's how he made us feel. I am so thankful for my time with my come whatever unfair weather friend. And I'm gonna miss him. Goodbye, buddy, I love you. Thanks for indulging me, folks.